No God.
Oh.
No God, then no good, man.
Why do you say so, man?
Well, first let's find out a bit about you. Are you a Sanatani?
No.
No means you're not sure.
I don't know. I mean,
You're
I
not
don't
sure?
believe in
It
God.
means you're not sure, right?
Oh, you don't believe in
Yeah, I'm
God?
not sure. No.
Okay. So you come from a Hindu background, though your parents are Hindu?
Yeah, my parents are Hindu.
Okay. What made you leave Hinduism?
I have not left it. I just don't believe things
If you
that I
haven't
have
left
not.
if you haven't
There
left
is
it, means you
no.
believe in Hinduism.
There is no institution to live here. Actually,
Say again.
if you don't believe, there is no institution to live. There is no. I mean, if you don't believe in something, you don't accept it. That's how it works for me.
So,
Where did you
so
get
you're
that
not a
from?
Hindu then? You are not a Hindu then?
Yeah, I'm not a Hindu. You can say, yeah.
No.
But
Okay.
like for cultural
That's
purpose,
what I
for
asked
society
earlier.
purpose,
You
right?
said there's no. Okay, once again, have you left Hinduism or you haven't?
I mean, is there any criteria like there are some
You
steps
tell
that I
me
will
as a Hindu.
follow?
Is there a criteria to be a Hindu?
No, I mean, I've been born into a Hindu household that I'll accept, but I don't believe in the belief system of Hindu.
Okay.
Do you believe
Yeah.
God exists?
See, I don't believe something that I don't know. So I don't know God, so I don't believe in the God.
Oh, I see. So when you say you don't know, it means you have to physically see God in order for you to know him? How do you know he doesn't exist? Or you don't know him?
Oh, how do you know that he exists? I mean,
Well,
we
I'm
both don't
not
know
the one
anything about the
claiming
God.
God. You're the one saying that if you don't know him, it means he's not there.
No,
So I'm asking you.
no, see, I don't claim anything. I'm just saying that I don't know that. I mean, I don't know anything about God.
When you say you don't know, what
Can
criteria?
I
What
can I ask
criteria do
you
you
a
require to
question?
know God?
Hashim, wait. Is everything you do not know doesn't exist? So everything you do not know doesn't exist.
Yeah, that is not verifiable. That does not exist for me. That might
But
exist for you,
look,
but that doesn't.
if I give you a name of a street in London which you do not know about,
Mhm,
you've never been to, you do not know, does that
mhm.
mean because you don't know it that street doesn't exist?
No, that exists because that
Okay,
is verifiable.
there you go. I can give you a name
Mhm.
of someone that you do not know. You're not knowing that person. Does that mean that that person doesn't exist?
No, surely
Okay.
the person may
So
exist.
here is your answer to
Mhm.
because you do not know God, so God does not exist. The fact of the matter, things you do not know, it does not take them out of existence. They still
Correct.
can
Correct.
exist. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Correct. Yeah.
The question then comes, it's all about verification, but how do you verify something is the next thing. So if you want to know God exists by verification, how would you verify God's existence?
Okay. I mean, something that will affect me. I mean, if you can do something to me or something around me, I will accept that he exists.
He's already
Or
made you already the way you are. The heart that is beating,
no,
you're
how
not
do you
telling the
know?
heart to beat. You're
No,
not
how
telling the
do
heart
you
to
know
beat.
that?
Sorry?
See, okay. No, you don't know that, right? How
No,
my heart is
the
beating
heart,
there.
you know the heart is
Mhm.
beating. You can place your hand on your heart, you can feel it. You can feel it, lub dub, you can feel it. It's beating. You're not
Correct.
telling it to do
Correct.
that. So it's
But that
already
is
been
physiological
programmed
process in the body.
sorry, it's already been
That
programmed.
is.
You're
Uh-huh.
not letting me finish.
Okay. Yeah, please go on.
Okay. It's already been programmed within your body, and there's so many other different systems within your body. They're all programmed to do certain functions. Obviously, it didn't just get programmed by my pen, did it? Do you think this pen can
Mhm.
program your heart to beat?
No, no.
Why not? Why not? I would really like to know, why can't this pen not be the ones that actually made your heart to beat, programmed it?
I mean, if you want to understand, there is a very complex physiological process that is going on in the body that is
So why
causing
can't my pen be the one which has programmed it? That's the question. I'm linking the program that is very complex in your body is actually,
Mhm.
I'm proposing it's done by this pen. So why would you not accept that?
That is very childish argument, I guess,
No,
because
why is it childish? Because this is what the people who don't believe in God, in our eyes, are like childishly rejecting evidence. So this pen is not self-aware, is not conscious, doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the power
knowledge.
to do this, and the knowledge of making your heart to beat. This pen doesn't have any of those things. So anything that doesn't have these qualities won't be able to make your heart the way it is. So my question to you is this: what is that thing which is self-aware and designed it that way, has the will or the volition to actually do it and did it, has the knowledge to do it, and has the ability or power to do it and did it? What is it, if not God?
okay, I accept your argument. Let's say there is a God.
No, we're
Okay.
not going to go. Let's say I'm going to go by looking at the product, and then we'll try to understand the producer. So don't assume there's a producer.
Okay.
We know that there's a product there. Start working from the product.
Okay. Yeah, let's consider this huge creation, which is like in Prathama, what do you say? In Prathama, which cannot be fathomed, right? So, let's say there is a creator for all this.
No, we can't assume
Millions
a
of
creator.
galaxies.
No, you're not really using critical thinking. We have a product like a pen, and we have a product like what you have in your body's a heart. We talked about the heart beating. So we need to know, how can we understand this product, your heart or this pen? There was one suggestion: could this pen be the one that designed it? And you said it's childish to believe in such a thing. Okay, which I agree.
There is a we want to understand how the heart beats. I can explain it to you.
No.
I've read it in my class 10th level. I can explain
already
it.
programmed to be in that way. There's a program there, which is a part of lots of other programs within your body. So
Correct.
if such a program exists, then what does it follow? How do we infer from this observation? Because science is all about observation and making inference. So what do we infer?
So your argument is, since there is a program, so there must be some programmer.
I am not arguing. I have not made an argument. I am observing like everyone else does. Scientists observe. So I've made an observation. Now we need to explain this observation, because it seems to be very interesting product, your heart. So we need to now make some logical, reasonable inference based on the observation. So what is your inference based on this observation?
Okay. Yeah, this is a good question. So if something is so magnificent, there must be something that must have created it. Yeah, that's a good question to start with. But after that, I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, we can just infer. We cannot know.
Sure. Once we agree that the inference, the logical, reasonable inference is such that it needs to be explained by something that I give you 4 qualities of, something that is self-aware. Because if it wasn't self-aware, you would not be able to produce something like it. These 4 characteristics are the 4 core characteristics what we call and we give to the creator who created all these things. Because anything that has brought
you're using your limitation of your logical mind to to understand something that is beyond you.
That's
Isn't that futile?
That's how inference is made. Science this is how it works. We have to infer. So I'm making a logical inference, a reasonable, a rational inference, that this is what we should accept, because it's a logical reasoning. It's something
Okay,
reasonable.
your
explanation.
logical
So now
your
you're
logical
saying, instead of,
reasoning.
you're saying, instead of accepting what logic and reason leads to, you're saying we should not use it. Why should we not accept
I'm not.
something that logic and reason leads to? If it leads to a creator with those characteristics,
Okay.
that's what it is. Hard reality.
I don't think. What I think is your logical capability or reasoning capability also has come from that source only. So how can you use the creation as a tool to understand the creator? So
Okay.
you
So
are able to think because of that.
you're not really following the proper process of understanding the observation and making inference.
You can just understand in your mind.
I'm
That's
saying
what I'm saying.
this. The other option is believing in that all this observation, it can be caused by nothingness, magic. It just is brute fact. You know,
Yes, yes.
out of
It
all of
just
these
is.
options, which one seems to be reasonable? Because you need to be consistent in your life. If everywhere else in your life you're consistently using reason, and whatever reason leads you to accept, you accept it, like in science, like in maths. And yet when it comes to, the very explanation of this existence, this cosmos, this world, this universe, and it leads us to a creator, leads us to a supreme being, leads us to God, now people hesitate and object and try to find other ways, and saying, we shouldn't be accepting that. That shows some kind of inconsistency in approach, and the reason they're inconsistent is because of the consequence that's backed with it. Because if there is a creator, there must be a reason why he's created you, and because of all of these consequence and the purpose attached to it, people don't want to accept it. So it is not logic or reason that goes against accepting a creator. Logic and reason, rationality leads you to a creator. The question is, people do not want to accept it. That's what we need to investigate a bit further. Why so?
Okay, why cannot it be like everything came from nothing? I mean, no, not that. Actually, everything just came up spontaneously. No one created it. There was no force behind it.
Where did it come from? From nothing or something?
Nothing or something. I mean, see, you are trying to understand something that is beyond our capabilities.
No, it's not beyond our capability. It's within the domains of our investigation. It's within the domains of our critical thinking. So either something comes from something. Let me help you with this. Either something comes from something, or the other alternative is to believe something has come from nothing. Okay, that's not in between. This is a binary question. Either it came from something or it came from nothing.
Okay,
so we can actually examine both of these possibilities and see which has the best explanatory power. If let's take the nothing part of it. Could it have come from nothing? And what is nothing? Nothing is the absence of everything. Something that doesn't have no existence, no self-awareness, no potentiality. It's basically a description of nothingness with no something, nothing in it. Okay, so there's no energy, there's no will, there's no potentiality, there is no existence, there's no power, simply nothing. Such a thing, as you know, my friend, is unable to do anything. Cannot do anything. Cannot bring about something.
I understand where you are going with this line of thinking, but what I want to say is there are something that cannot be inferred or that cannot be logically explained. For example, take the example of falling in love. Let's take the example of love only. Can love be explained? I mean,
yeah, can be.
I mean, how? I mean, what you feel in love? Can you really logically explain that? I mean, why that is happening between
now you're restricted to logical explanation of an emotional thing. a category mistake.
Correct.
But I am
So
saying
why you
we
are
are
going there
observing.
logically? That's what
One
my
second.
point is.
Look, in my observation, I'm not making a category mistake. I'm being consistent with the same approach. We have one observation, and we need to now infer what is the explanation for this observation. So if it comes from nothing as an option, and we can examine that possibility, and we say it is really nonsensical to accept that, because it is not possible something to come from absolute nothingness, because absolute nothingness cannot do anything. That's what nothing is. It doesn't have anything to able to do. So it cannot come from nothing then. So it comes from something. So if it comes from something, that means something always exists. And the question then now is, what are the characteristics of that something that always exists? Something has to always exist. And that's what we say, the always existing being is the creator of all existence. He's not created, he's the creator. From that creator, everything came. And that creator is the necessary being, the necessary existence. And necessary existence has essential qualities or necessary qualities. And I gave you 4 of them earlier on.
There you
And
go.
that's
You
what we
have
say
yourself
is
become
the
the God.
qualities. Sorry?
You are able to explain. I'm saying that you yourself have become the God because you are able to explain creation from beginning to end.
No. Just
So
because I have
you
explained.
understand everything.
No, just because I have made you rationally to understand this process doesn't mean I am God. I
No,
just
you
told
have
you
rationalized.
this is what any critical thinker, any person with sound mind and intellect will accept it, because that's what it
No,
leads to. This is the best explanation of the observation.
what you call as sound thinking and rational process. I call it like childish thinking. This is
Okay,
childish
why is it
to
not sound?
try
Excuse me.
try
Why
to
is it not sound
understand
and why is it childish?
from the beginning of the creation to the end. You are trying to rationalize in your mind, and you call it like rational thinking. This is non-understandable. That's what I'm trying to
Would you mind
emphasize.
just help us understand why is my reasoning not sound and why is it childish?
I mean, there are something that you cannot understand by just applying your reasoning or mental faculties. That's what my point is. Because
Mansur, can I come in, please?
Yes.
Now, earlier on, you said that you need something physical to make you be aware that there is a God. Yeah. Yeah. Now, imagine you standing.
No. I didn't say that.
No, that's what you said earlier on. That's what you said earlier on. You said something, I can see something to happen to me. Your exact words were something to happen to me.
Yeah, not physical. I didn't say physical happening to me.
Something to happen to you.
Yeah, something happening to me, correct.
Okay.
I know from within, yeah.
Okay, so now imagine you standing under a palm tree that has got coconuts, and a coconut falls on your head and cracks your head. Is that coconut God? So is would you call that coconut to be God because something happened to you?
No, why I'll call it God?
Well, something happened to you.
Okay.
Something happened to you. No, I'm just trying to show you because the brother. No, wait, no, God, please, because the brother has taken you through an intellectual kind of way of defining the existence and took you through something and nothing, and he explained it to you in a very eloquent way. For you to turn around and to call that childish, I find that childish myself. Because there is nothing childish about self-awareness, ability, the will, and the knowledge. There is nothing. You cannot produce something. You can't. I mean, if you have got awareness, maybe you lack ability, maybe you lack the knowledge, maybe, but to have all these attributes, it means that you are a necessary being. So that's why, since you said something happening to you, I gave you the example of a coconut tree. So a coconut falls on your head, cracks your head. Does that make the coconut tree a God? You see
Uh,
how
no.
your reasoning has got holes in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I see that. But
Okay. So
uh,
now go back to what Brother Mansur has told you. Do you see what the brother has explained to you? Do you see how it is correct? That
okay,
for the
let's
Muslim,
yeah. For the sake of moving from here, I mean, not staying at one point. So let's say that line of argument, considering that line of argument, that there is a creator with all the characteristics defined by Mansur. Okay, I accept it.
No, this is
Okay,
something that, not just for the sake of moving. It needs to make
no,
sense
no.
to you before you
Okay,
accept and
yeah,
move
yeah.
on. It needs to make sense to you. That's what I'm asking. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, logically thinking, it makes sense.
Okay. So what's the
Mhm.
problem in accepting such a being's existence?
There is no problem. I can accept it anytime.
Okay.
I mean, I can, logically, I can accept it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have
Okay.
any other questions before we move into our next guests?
Yeah, sure. I had a few questions regarding this God only, as defined in, Islamic way of thinking. So I follow some news and I see that some of the countries where conversion from Islam has, or what you call blasphemy, is criminalized and punishable to even death. So, for example, Afghanistan, even Pakistan, my neighboring country. So, do you think that this is a correct law, or this needs modification in
You can ask
Islamic
those. You
law?
can ask those people in that country. I'm not from them. Second question.
I mean, is this in line with Islamic law or Sharia?
Yeah. So if there is
Is
such
the
an
blas-
Islamic law, no, if Islamic law says something, that would be Islamic law, and I would have no problem accepting it. So if Islamic law says you have to be kind to your parents, I would have to, as a believer, be kind to my parents. If Islamic law says you have to remove this thorn from this, road because it's really going to hurt people, and will have to do it. If Islamic law
I
says
mean,
smile at your brother,
mhm,
do you see, as a believer submits to God's will.
mhm.
That's what a believer is, someone who submits to the will of God. Okay, so asking a
But
believer, are you a believer, is really nonsensical question. Asking a Muslim, oh Muslim, do you believe in Islam? Because that's what a Muslim
let's
is,
say,
someone who believes in Islam. So your
got it.
question, which is very
Mhm,
politically loaded,
mhm.
it's a no-brainer. It's a non-question. Why would you ask a Muslim who believes in a Sharia law,
Mhm.
do you believe in the Sharia law? It makes no
But
sense.
that is okay. Okay, that may not make sense to you, but I'm saying that the same discussion that we just had on the concept of God,
Yeah.
either existence or non-existence. If I say that Allah doesn't exist in, uh, a place where Sharia has been implemented, so will I be executed, or I mean, is this correct or not? I mean, I don't
Well,
see.
hang on. You are not a Muslim, so you cannot
Mm,
apply the Sharia to you. You're not a Muslim.
okay, if I deny the existence of God,
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
existence of.
Look. I'm gonna
Mm,
make it. I'm gonna give you an analogy, and I'm gonna make it quite simple for you. Imagine
mm,
you're a CEO of a company.
okay, okay.
Okay. So
Mm,
you have got a board of directors, then senior management, then middle management, then supervisors, and then the working force. Imagine some of the supervisors started spreading rumors regarding regarding certain things about the company, and and if the
mm.
rumors do spread totally, it can bring the company to disrepute and maybe even losses. You as a
Oh,
CEO, what should you do?
so you execute them?
I
mean,
asked you,
you are
as a
taking
CEO,
analogy of, yeah,
you would
I
say,
get your point.
no, listen to me.
Mhm.
Don't say things that I didn't say. You
Mhm.
would get rid of them, fire
Okay.
them. You would fire
Mhm.
them. Yeah.
Mhm.
The reason
Mhm.
why would you fire them? Because in the disciplinary procedure that you have got in your company, if someone spreads rumors, that's gross misconduct, and because it's gross misconduct, so you fire them. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Now apply that to a big entity, like a
Mhm.
country,
Mhm.
which it has got laws, and you live in part of that country, and in them laws, you know that if you do something that contradict them laws, you have only yourself to blame. I mean, by all
But
means,
how this is,
no,
how this
God,
is,
just wait, just allow me to finish. By all
okay.
means, if you do not want to believe in God, don't believe in God,
Mhm.
but don't spread the
Yeah.
rumors amongst the population. Because to be honest with you, in an Islamic country that applies
Mhm.
Sharia, and there is none actually at the moment that does it, none of them applies
Correct.
Sharia 100%.
That
No.
100% correct. Mhm.
Okay.
Even
So,
though
so
they
no,
punish
just allow me to finish and
apostasy
I'll
with
give you
death
time.
penalty.
Just allow
Yeah,
me to
please.
finish and I'll give you time.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
So someone who's spreading them rumors, actually me as a ruler, I'd rather take him and
Mhm.
see why the reason behind what he's saying, because if I leave him amongst the population might kill him.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I
For
get your
spreading
point.
such rumors and such look, in India, some people are getting attacked and killed because they eat cow meat.
Mhm. No, I get your point. Can I now put my point forth?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I get your point. Like, uh, from point of view of law and order, absolutely makes sense to take out that person from creating any law and order situation. That is fine with me. But when a religious book, uh, I says that you should kill the apostate, that is I cannot accept it. I mean, this decree, or the person who gave this decree, or the so from the God source where this
No,
decree has come from in the
I
holy
just
book. Mhm.
I just by the way, there is nowhere in the Quran where it says you kill the apostate.
I can give you the reference if you want.
In the Quran
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
in Quran.
that
uh,
says kill the apostate.
Yeah, let's see it. Where is it?
I
Okay,
can
let's
I
see
can
it.
I can
Yeah,
Okay.
read
yeah.
out that to you. I don't
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
understand how it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Quran 4,
Tell us.
Yeah.
Quran chapter 4, verse 89.
What does it
50.
say, please?
Yeah.
Chapter
It says
4,
that
Surah An-Nisa, verse 59.
89, sorry, 89.
89.
89. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
89.
Chapter Nisa 89. What does it say?
Go ahead.
it says that they wish you would believe as they believed, as you should be alike. Oh, 1 second. Am I misquoting it? 1 second, let me verify. Okay, uh, give me a second. I think I
No
got
problem.
confused.
No problem.
Yeah, sure. While you're searching, just want for the audience to understand that the Quran actually says rather the opposite. It says those who believe, then disbelieve, then believe, then disbelieve. So there is several process of believe and disbelieve in there. How is that possible? If once you disbelieve once and you're supposed to be executed, then how can you believe again? Because you'll be dead by then. So the Quran goes rather contrary to what people think, that there is
No
I
compulsion in the religion. No
Yeah.
compulsion in the religion.
Yeah. So what?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, please. Have you finished or?
I
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
I can hear your
Okay.
evidence. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Same. I got confused. So same. Quran chapter 4 verse 89. It says that they wish you would disbelieve as they disbelieved, so you would be alike. So do not take from among them allies until they emigrate for the cause of Allah. But
Uh-huh.
if they turn away, then seize them and kill them wherever you find them, and take not from among them any ally or helper.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not from the Muslims. That's from the original disbelievers.
Original disbelievers, I mean, either original or duplicate disbeliever. He's just denying the existence of Allah. I mean, why cannot be this a healthy
Yeah, but
discussion?
did you
I'm
know?
saying,
Did you know?
Do you know
Did
what
you know?
apostasy is?
yeah, apostasy. I mean, as far as I know, is uh, you know, to deny the existence of Allah, or
No. I think
you
there's a
know,
misunderstanding. So let me help you before you try to explain something that which you probably didn't understand in the first place. Apostasy is a concept that is like a renegade from something. So if someone is a believer and they left their belief, they've apostated from that belief. Okay. Someone who's
okay,
not a believer in the first place, you don't call them an apostate, you call them disbeliever.
okay,
Okay.
murtad, no, not murtad. Sorry,
No.
musrik.
So an apostate is a murtad. They made irtidad.
Okay.
That's what they call murtad. Yeah. So man yartaddad, the one who's turned away, meaning they already believed in something and then they disbelieved in that. That's your apostasy from a particular belief system. So the example that you gave, it's nothing to do with an apostate, it's to do with a disbeliever already. So many people who don't believe, so people who are like the pagans, idolaters and so on and so forth, they're disbelievers because they haven't accepted the belief. But someone who's a believer is a Muslim, and then what do you, sorry?
Why do you kill them? I mean, even if any person, let's say, if he
Why
was,
should we kill them?
yeah, why
There should be no point.
why should be a order to kill them? I mean, in
There
the
is no
holy
such
book,
thing as order of killing a disbeliever.
I mean,
Where did
it's
you get this
clearly
from?
written.
Clearly written where?
Clearly written.
No.
Okay. Should I
All
read
of
it?
this is in the context of fighting, war, battle. If they fight you, you fight them back, but you don't commit transgression. Yeah, you don't exceed. So if they surrender and they don't fight, you accept their surrender, and you, in fact, if they ask for security and sanctity and to be safe, you escort them to the place of safety. That's the Islamic principle. So if someone's fighting and they surrender, you don't just like become like so brutal and so on like you see in movies. No, you don't become evil because they're fighting. They stop fighting, you accept them. Yeah. And if they ask for a security of their life, you make sure that their life is secured. You escort them to the place of security. That's what's like in chapter 9, Surah Tawbah, you will hear, but they never quote this because it goes against the interest of all this propagandist. Yeah. So Islam tells you people fight the people who fight you because they are the ones who are initiating the fight. They're trying to expel from your homes, kill your prophet, and so on. So that's why fighting was necessary. There would have been no need to fight if people were, happy and no, confrontation or anything. But the problem was the Muslims, and early as the Quran, the narrations or the verses that people often talk about, is because when Muslims, their life, their honor, their property, their family, they're all being exterminated from existence, right? They had to defend, and the order came to defend. I mean, as a normal human being, this is what you expect some people to defend their lives. So this is why the fighting verses or prescription for fighting was given. The Quran says, now permission is given to you to fight back, because that's what it is. So Islam is not what people portray it to be. It's rather the opposite. Islam doesn't want any fighting. They don't. Islam doesn't want any kind of all these trials and tribulations of warfare and so on. No, there shouldn't be. It should be peace. But what it is, people then initiate all these problems to exterminate, to commit genocide, infanticide, and ethnic cleansing, and so on. This is where Islam will say no, fight back, but only to the point of establishing justice. Do not commit transgression. If they stop, you stop.
But I don't see these things written here. I see just like they do not believe in, they are not believer. I mean, the exact sentence is, do not take among them your allies. That's
you have to read the verses before and after.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, let's consider it was in the context of war and so much crime. So
no, God, look, Allah in the Quran says, and fight those who fight you and do not transgress. And do not transgress. Chapter 2. In so many places, Allah says, Allah does not forbid you from taking as friends those who did not fight you and kicked you out of your homes, to be good to them and just. So you go to something and you quote it out of context, and then you want to apply the law to it.
Okay, let's say okay.
Look,
also,
honestly, I find you as an intelligent person, and only Allah knows best. I think that you are sincere. I have not opened your heart and checked, but I think that you're sincere. That's why we're entertaining you. But
thanks.
when something, no problem, you're welcome. When something is absolutely clear, I think there is no point of like trying to find something wrong with it when you know that there is no wrong in it.
No, I'm trying to in the present context, people say there is some, you can say, propaganda or something. I mean, from both the sides it happens, like those who are disbelievers kill them.
Yeah.
So
for
example,
in the concept of war,
one second, it has a scriptural basis to it, because it is written in hadith also. I can give you the reference, hadith number 2535. So there also Messenger of Allah said, whoever changes his religion, kill him. So I think, so why should, I mean,
let me try to help you understand this. Okay, there's a lot of confusion in this. My humble perspective on this. Okay, so people can disagree. No issues, as far as I understood. If you look at the Quran talks about, as we mentioned earlier, those who believe, then disbelieve, then believe, and then disbelieve. So the process of reversion and conversion, and then disbelief, is only possible if no one is killed, because once you're dead, you can't come back and believe again. So how do you understand the hadith? If you understand the hadith context, does it uses the same kind of terminologies and vocabulary? This is the clue in the first place. Linguistics, language is a clue. People often forget these things and they just try to say in English language, this looks like similar. But if you look at it, man baddala dinahu, one who makes tabdil, change, and the Quran says man yartad, irtidad, and tabdil is two different words. So there's already a distinction made in there. They're not exactly the same. So linguistically, it points to this kind of distinction in terms of the application of it and the meaning that is applied within it. When it comes to also, again, could it be linked to because the hadith, an authentic hadith should not go against the Quran, which says you can believe and disbelieve and believe and disbelieve. So how do we then reconcile this hadith if it's authentic? We go into the historical perspective and you look that this seems to be linked with treason, political activity. It's not just simply belief and leaving that belief, but doing actions This tabdeel is you actually making actions, and that, as the Sheikh explained earlier, is where this society is going to be at peril, at risk of having harm done to the society with your actions. If someone just changed their belief and didn't do anything, then they haven't made that change in the society impact the society, where the society is harmed at large. So they don't need to be executed. But if someone is going to create havoc in society, disorder, and then they will create mischief because of these actions they're doing, and because of that, there's a lot of elements where it's political things they're doing. The society needs to protect itself. Every society does. That's why treason has highest form of penalty in most countries. I think still in the USA, if you are found to have committed treason, capital punishment, if I'm not mistaken. Why? Because the national security is under threat. Likewise, in the example in the hadith, in my humble understanding, is that this is linked with this kind of political activism in which the very fabric of society is under threat by this kind of activities of these individuals. But if that individual didn't do anything, just a matter of belief in the heart and disbelief, they would never have had this order of execution, for example. So this is my take on it. People need to really be very subtle and nuanced in understanding why this difference in the hadith approach compared to what the Quran is saying. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
No, God, just to explain one thing to you. At the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, some people did apostate at the time of the Prophet, and he didn't kill them.
But I mean, there is some evidence in scriptures that it was done.
Okay, sorry,
I can give you the reference.
Yeah, give me the reference. A reference, remember, a reference, the Prophet, peace be upon him, killing someone who apostated. That's what I need to see.
No, but there is a not killing, even if there is a hatred towards them.
No, John, I'm gonna call you John. I don't like to call you no God. I'll call you John. John, okay. Look.
Yeah.
What I need from you is a piece of history where the Prophet, someone apostated at the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and he killed them. If you cannot bring me something like this, then it's irrelevant. And let me tell you one thing about the jurisprudence, the Islamic jurisprudence. There is a hadith. It says, if a person gets drunk, so lash him. Then if he gets drunk, lash him. Then if he gets drunk, lash him. Then if he gets drunk the fourth time, kill him. This is a hadith. And this hadith is in Sahih Muslim. Is an authentic hadith, but it's never ever been applied, even at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Never ever this hadith is been applied. The rulers, all the rulers that ruled with Sharia, never applied it. So, Brother Mansur has explained to you, and I gave you the analogy earlier on of the company. If you do not do something, your company is going to be lost. That's it. And for someone who's ruling a country, there will be havoc.
But my concern is why there is so much narrow-mindedness on part of Allah or His apostle regards to this, that if someone disbelieves, can I complete?
Be disrespectful to Allah Jalla wa Ala. Allah is not a person so that you say narrow-minded and stuff. So look, we've been on a good kind of conversation. Let's not please.
No, I'm sorry. What I meant is, it looks to me, what is written in scripture, there is a certain narrow-mindedness towards someone who has either left Islam or doesn't believe in Allah.
No,
for example, can I complete my sentence?
Yeah.
For example, in Sahih al-Bukhari, 9 colon 83, colon 17. I don't understand. I'm just reading from somewhere. So it is written that the blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that I am his apostle, cannot be said except in three cases. One, in qisas for murder, a married
Yes.
person who commits illegal sexual intercourse. Second
Yes.
one, the third one is the one who reverts from Islam, apostate in bracket, and leaves the Muslims. Okay,
Yeah.
if someone changes his religion or leaves his community of Muslims, why he
Yeah.
should be subject to any punishment?
You know,
And
John.
that's my question. Now,
Okay, John, no problem. I'll
please,
answer
please,
you. I'll answer you.
please allow
I'll
me
answer
to please allow me to continue. Keeping in your mind, keeping in my mind the example you gave for a company. I get it. So he has spread the rumors, or he has done the service to the company, disservice to the company, and he should be fired. I get it.
No, not only
But
fired. You might end up in jail, because you might end up even in jail, because depending on what you've done to the company. But look, John.
why myself living from Islam is a detrimental to the society,
John.
so that I
John,
will
you
be
were not
punished.
listening
I
to
don't
what
understand.
you were not listening to what Brother Mansur has told you. You were not listening at all. He said to you
Okay.
that if a person leaves Islam and creates havoc, meaning he is causing problems to the community in general, he is absolutely trying to dictate what he believes in, trying to call people to what he believes in, and all of that, then as a ruler, I am elected by the people to protect them against such a person or persons. So I need, so the one of the actual laws that I have got is capital punishment. Why? For treason. Now, let me tell you one thing. Do you know that before that person before being executed, if the crime fits the punishment, that person, first of all, for 3 days, he will be given the chance. They will see maybe he is ill, meaning like mentally ill. Maybe that he misunderstood something. They don't just come and apply the capital punishment for them. Okay, so there are steps that are taken before the capital punishment is applied. Now, Brother Mansur has clearly told you, and he has given you the example of the USA. In United States of America, if the punishment for treason is capital punishment.
But how it is a treason to leave Islam? How it is a treason? How to it is it similar to creating havoc or any law and order situation?
Nobody, if you don't, if you look, if
I
you
want
are
to
not
just explain,
creating havoc.
عفوا
No, تفضل.
سامحني. I'll call you Atul. It's a beautiful name as well. I mean, nice name to have, Atul.
Thank you.
If you consider what I mentioned about, destabilizing society, threat, national security threat, and so on, this is the level of the magnitude of what this crime is seen by this state. Okay, so the punishment is actually implemented not by people, by the state authority. Okay, Islam has a state authority. It will implement punishment to its criminal by the crime that it already recognizes and tells people what a crime is and what punishment it's associated with it. So a state can recognize certain crimes to be very, very grievous, and they can say these are what is going to be the punishment. Say, for example, drug trafficking. It's just trafficking drugs. Okay, just heroin, cocaine, whatever. It's not killing anyone directly, but it's just trafficking. They might actually say anyone who's found trafficking drugs, they will have capital punishment. You will have nothing to argue, because that's the law of the state. They deemed it so grievous for the security and sanctity and the progress of that society and its people and in citizen, that they want this kind of thing, activity, not to somehow destabilize the society. That's the law and the punishment for it. That's what they decided. Likewise, Islam considers, which you'll be surprised, only a handful of punishment that has capital punishment associated with it. The bulk majority, all of them, apart from those handful, are what we call discretionary or ta'zir, yeah? Not had, which is a capital punishment fixed. So these are discretionary punishment, which the judge will decide based on the context, the societal needs, and also so on and so forth. It might be prison, it could be a fine, it could be so many different things. It could be a warning, it could be just some kind of community activities, what they call, community work to do various things. Yeah. So this is discretionary on the judge and the wisdom of that judge. He or she will do that. But only a handful of punishment. And those particular crimes that the Islamic society gives or mandates punishment for it is actually so grievous because they will totally bring destabilization of the society. For example, life. You need to live in a society in which your life is protected. You don't want to walk in a street and people just shoot you for no reason and that you're dead. Then you have no security and sanctity, no concept of having the life that you can live freely, openly, with no fear. You will be like, not be able to go outside your door. So these kind of things, like protection of one's life, anyone takes away, capital punishment, life for life. If someone is going to dishonor you, for example, they rape you, for example, and so on and so forth. If someone's going to make you, yourself, others, to befog your mind and corrupt your intellect and so on. If someone's going to have, your life such a way so you're in broad daylight, commit highway robbery and this kind of, killing and so on and so forth, capital punishments. So there is only a handful of those because this is linked with the individual protection, the honor, the sanctity of life, and so on and so forth. Okay, so on this matter, apostasy came, in my humble understanding, as I said repeatedly, that it's linked with the destabilization of the society, because it's not affecting just the individual who's left, it's affecting and impacting so many other different people. Just like how treason is applied or mandates capital punishment because the national interest is going to be at risk for whatever reason, the national security is at risk. Islam considers likewise it is a state, it needs to protect itself and its citizen, and that's why it mandates such a thing. So you might disagree with this punishment, but that's how the Islamic State would do that. It's not because of one's personal freedom of choice. This is not linked with that. That's why we were saying if that was the case, then you would have seen clear example of it. But the Quran totally goes against this idea. If it's your choice, then why does the Quran says you can believe and disbelieve and come back and believe and disbelieve? How can it even give laws to that effect? This is the point people tend to ignore quite often, but I'm asking you to reflect on it. How can you have an injunction in the Quran, a guidance, a law, a principle in the Quran in which it tells you that if someone believes and then disbelieves and then believes and then disbelieves, and it gives you what to do? How is that going to be even possible? If someone just believes and as a believer disbelieves, apostates, and you kill them, then how can you apply that Quranic law? Because the Quran says they come back again, and then if they do that. So this needs to be looked at with this nuance on saying. So when you said there seems to be some kind of narrow-mindedness with this approach of where the creator initiates laws in which personal freedom is taken away, you need to understand that the creator gives laws for people's own good, individually and collectively. You live in a society. You don't live isolate by yourself. And that's why the laws are there in the first place. Why does the Quran give you laws of theft? It's because theft is carried out by someone else. You're living in a society, you expect your property, your things that you have which is belong to you should not be taken away by force or by stealing, and that needs to be protected. And the mechanism of protection is by ways of deterring people from doing so, and making an example of those who do so, that they will be really punished for doing so. So let not people do that thing. And that's why the Islamic law, when it was implemented, it was flourishing in terms of the progress of that society. People were naming stars. That's what they're doing, because the law was making sure their life, their property, their honor, their dignity, their family, all were protected. That's why they were able to do all these scientific investigations and cultural revolution and all this agriculture and so on. In Islamic Spain, they were sitting there in Baitul Hikmah thinking about this, the whole cosmos, the laws, and how were they able to do that? Because that law that Islam provided in terms of, criminal behavior, misconduct, was making sure that society was stable and progressing, and then it allowed progress to happen based on that particular framework. So you might have some issues
So
with
how,
apostasy and others.
if I
Think
am
about it deeply.
okay, if I am negating the existence of God, how it is detrimental to the society that it should
If
be punished?
you're a
That's the basic
disbeliever
question.
and as an atheist, there is no punishment. Where do you get that from? That if just an atheist and you have to be killed, someone who's an
Okay,
agnostic.
reverts. Okay, reverts from Islam, apostate,
I
and
explained to
leaves the
you.
Muslim.
I've
If you
explained to
Yeah.
you
This is
twice.
going in circles, guys. So we have already
Yeah.
explained to you. I think
I've
you have made
explained to
up
you
your
twice. I don't
mind.
need to explain to you again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not. Just watch the stream again. Normally, the
All right.
apostates, if they have apostated, they're given 3 days, okay, to basically confirm if they want to stick to that, or they have misunderstood something for which they apostated, or there is some ignorance, or maybe some force or some other circumstance. Now, if they insist after the 3 days that they want to apostatize, then
Mhm.
the judge, basically looking at all the evidence, can decide on the capital punishment for that. But you see, if somebody if somebody wants to save themselves within that period, they can just say, "No, I've changed my mind." If they insist, that means they really want to maybe take the death penalty. Don't you
I
think so?
mean,
And this is
why
something
this
that we
is
see in
such
other
a
religions. If you look at the Old
why
Testament,
this is
uh,
why this is
yeah,
such a big deal in
it
today's
is
time and
it is a
age?
big
Can
deal,
we?
because imagine you are a Muslim, and one day you decide that you're not a Muslim. You could
Mhm.
remain as a non-Muslim and maybe harm the country, maybe join the armed forces as a pretending to be a Muslim and not really. You can sabotage the entire country, or the army. There are so many cases. Take the example of in a marriage, the guy apostates, the marriage is nullified. It's not a small thing, my friend. It's a huge thing. You have children, you have a wife. If you're
inheritance
Muslim
and laws
and this
of
guy apostates,
inheritance,
the marriage is nullified. So it's a huge thing.
laws
Don't you
of
think?
inheritance,
Yes, a
even
lot of
laws of
things are impacted within the society. So this is to safeguard the Muslims themselves and the society and the family unit. All of this comes into play. But like I said, if somebody gives you 3 days to decide whether you want to be killed or not, what are you going to say? Yes, like, kill me.
No, I
So
mean
so if you want to look,
this
there are many cases
this
where people will just leave Islam, and he wouldn't bother anyone or she wouldn't bother anyone. But the people who are
mhm.
like determined to cause mischief and fitna in the society, then they start insulting the
Nowhere
Quran, Prophet
nowhere it is
Sallallahu Alaihi
written
Wasallam,
that
all these things.
no
Again,
nowhere it is written that he's
bro,
creating mischief or he's creating any.
yes,
He's
it is
just
actually.
it is
If you look at
it
the
is just
if you look at
written.
the hadith, if you look at the scholars, Islam is not just based on the Quran. We have the
Okay, yeah,
we have
I'm
the
quoting
hadith, we have
hadith
the
only.
scholars, we have the
I'm
consensus of the ulama. There are a lot of things which are considered
I'm
within Islam to make up
I'm
rulings, because this involves capital punishment. You don't just make up rules like that. It's taken very
no, I'm
seriously.
quoting hadith only. It is saying that who he reverts from the Islam or leaves the
Yes, I
Muslims,
know, but you're
yeah.
taking it
he's
at face value.
suspect.
Every
uh,
Quran ayah, every hadith have a has his explanations.
commentary on it.
Yes,
You
so
know,
you
you
don't just
know,
go based on your face value understanding of the hadith or the Quran, especially if you are
No,
not
I'm
learned in that field. Okay,
okay.
so anyway, I think the brothers have explained quite well to you. I was busy, but
All right,
I managed to
sure.
catch some of it. But this is, like I said, look, if you look today, you don't see any Muslim countries, killing people for apostasy and stuff like that. Because, like I said, it involves a lot of a lot of criteria for them to just take them as yes, you have apostate. So it's not matter of just apostate and you kill them straight away. No, there's an entire process, a due process to it. Okay, but
Yeah, I
anyway,
get
thanks
it,
for your
Hanif.
time. Yeah, you take
All
care.
right, sure.
A
I'll
lot of
study
people
more about
waiting
it.
this way.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, no problem.
Thanks.
Thanks.